Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring a 2 vs 2 on Rhzhev. Yes, indeed, Rhzhev. A 2 vs 2. We shall be... Whoops, wrong button right there. We shall be watching Odeng 101 and Awesomeentertainment fighting for the Soviet Union, taking on the role of the 240th Rifle Division. Opposing them shall be Alt and Gruvac, fighting for the Germans for the Panzergrenadier Division Feldhernhalle in a slug out that will last some time here on Rhzhev in the cold. Not the summer map, but the winter map. There is in fact a summer map of this map, which of course plays rather differently due to the ice not being there and thus not providing free mode of movement. And also noting here again, initially we are seeing Awesomeentertainment basically ooh-rahing his troops to get them fast initially. Of course, that's a fun little fact again that some Soviet players could try and, use to basically get quicker, faster. Initially, the ultimate, of course, of it, I'm sure what it ultimately does if it actually adds, but I think it does. I believe it does. We are seeing one pioneer start out here from Alt. Same by the looks of it from Gruvac, who's going out with an MG to follow up on his pioneers. MG following up on the Grenadiers. And we're seeing a mortar as well from Gruvac, so a rather peculiar start right there from the Germans. And we're also noting here that Odeng 101 is also standing out with a special rifle command start, and thus of course delaying his capturing of territory, whereas Awesomeentertainment is just getting all into it against the fascist foe. Initial engagement right here by the right-hand victory point. We're seeing the MG42 moving up. Might try and make a run for this building. We already see conscripts here waiting up here, possibly already awaiting. I mean, this is a bit like, that house on rails and metals. You're likely to get something in it. And there we go. He's already probably got the Molotovs prepared. I would be very surprised if he didn't. I mean, some players like to go for very early Molotovs, but apparently doesn't. Interesting. And action's open up there on the Combat Engineers, and he's actually moving straight in front of the MG42. That was like, comrades, we need to get out of here. This is bad place. And meanwhile, we are seeing a sniper out there, not really uncommon. Scout car swiftly following up, probably going to get popped in there. Mortars flying down there, knocking out the fire pit. Not hitting the conscripts though, have to be careful that it doesn't actually hit the MG crew inside the building. Pioneers pulling back as conscripts hit another flank, well done. Molotov finally goes off right there for Awesomeentertainment. In the meanwhile, Alt continues his march to victory in the left hand side, barely opposed by the forces of Bolshevism. Mortar here might go down, and in fact see Gruvac being forced to pull it out. Same thing with the MG42. House is still on fire, otherwise he could try and rush it. Troops into that building, and there we go, the mortar is gone. Conscripts continue to fire, and there we go, sniper car getting up there on the pioneers. We have been granted access. Firing away on those poor buggers, and a combat engineer squad is holding up there, denying the Germans really some solid ground and anywhere to hide from this nasty little sniper wagon. With conscripts now following up there for Odeng 101. You always want infantry, even if you go for this sort of start. He just delayed it a bit. Grenadiers hiding, which will actually be harder for the sniper to deal with, in particular once they're in the scout car, which actually decreases their accuracy further. So in that sense, the Grenadiers are actually somewhat safe for the time being. And we're actually seeing 2 machine guns, but they're both pushed away. Further fighting down here continues for Gruvac, who's encountering severe problems because, again, he had no infantry initially, only support units, and as soon as they were outmaneuvered by Awesomeentertainment's infantry, of course, they became less than useful. Light machine gun on the Grenadiers. Fun thing to note here, the icon there is actually for an MG34, not an MG42. By the way, since the MG42 did not have that sort of look, it was more of a square look, but also more sleek, and certainly did not have those large air holes which are present there. That was rather a feature of the MG34, which had much more rounded look. It still fired fast, but of course, but never quite as fast as the MG42. And it was also harder to produce, more expensive to produce, and also harder to maintain than the MG42. In many ways, the MG42 was simply a much more superior weapon. And we are in fact seeing here that Alt is now providing support for his teammate, rising up an heavy machine gun as Gruvac moves up with some rather depleted forces. And looks like in fact we are seeing Alt shifting away, abandoning the west for the time being, going to push hard here against Awesomeentertainment. going to support his teammate Gruvac, but of course at the same time leaving the west open to the forces of the 240th Rifle Division, holding out against the fascist hordes. Pioneers here suffering a lighter engagement, and looks like a scout car is now out for Alt. Rolling ahead. Troops enforcing, and we are already seeing here Panzergrenadiers on the way for Alt, who is by the way not upgrading his grenadiers to the light machine gun, which could be an idea, but no, he's instead upgrading this armor car here with the auto cannon. I'm not entirely sure if it's actually gotten the splash damage it's supposed to have. I don't think so, but I hope it does if it hasn't. Either way, it's going to be helpful against the Soviet scout cars. In fact, looks like he's getting another one. And if he's going to be really nasty, he's going to get some guards infantry in it, in which case it's going to pretty much counter the German one. Hard and brutal. Conscripts that are holding out as the building slowly shatters under the thick barrage of auto cannon rounds. Conscripts moving out here from Odeng 100 and Awesomeentertainment. Scout coming up to push against Gruvac's flank, which is a bit more exposed. Looks like he's got 2 grenadier squads now with light machine guns, so that's definitely going to increase the firepower considerably. Conscripts here catching Alt's troops up front. He's trying to set up the MG42, but like there will be a Molotov. Second MG42 setting up. And there we go. Guards, snipers and scout car. MG40 opening up the conscripts. Second MG setting up here. These conscripts are going to be in a lot of pain very soon. There we go, pins the ground, fighting continues. We have Panzers moving up, and there we go, Geballte Ladung, a World War I tactic, in fact, basically just grabbing a bunch of stick grenade warheads, sticking it to another stick grenade, and, well, lobbing it. It was also, in fact, used as an improvised anti-tank weapon in the earlier stages of World War II. So, fun fact there, Pioneers are burning up to the Molotovs. Nice maneuvering here by Awesomeentertainment, getting up on the MG42s and Molotoving, using the hedgerows right here to, well, ensure they cannot really do much. Getting into the building now, but that could prove to be a death trap for Alt, who needs more infantry. We are seeing a half-track out here now to support his troops, keep them reinforced, keep them moving. This side is now open, while Gruvac here seems to act a bit more as a wall at the moment. Again, snipers having trouble with troops in buildings. Snipers and scout cars really having trouble with those. And of course, that's a nice thing, since previously, getting into a building was a bit of a death trap. The problem, though, tends to be for the Germans who really have no real solid methods of getting troops up quickly, which can rather means, again, a Soviet rather on the defensive has an advantage in getting into structures. Unless, of course, they get hit with a barrage of rifle grenades or bun grenades, in which case there's even a small chance the entire building collapses. Fuel cache up here, but that's likely to get ruined in a few moments by our Soviet pals. So, popping up here to Gruvac. Scout coming back there. Point here being secured. Russians are controlling the center, thus they can control where they want to go much easier. If you should go east or west, which is rather where the Germans have some problems. Mortar up here, but that's slightly going to get overwhelmed. Grenadiers counter-attacking from the north. Machine guns and other fun stuff, while the scout car moves in from the other side. Fires away. Mortar cleared out, though, by a swift movement of the conscripts, and they immediately proceed to steal it. Rifle grenades fly through the air, sending the Russians running. The scout car moves in, perhaps having to catch a few on the run, but no such luck. And there we go, scout car with guards. Infantry, a nasty and potent combination as well. In particular, once they have been upgraded with light machine guns, as we see here. That is really going to be a headache for German troops, but they are making good progress. And again, it rather seems like Alt is doing most of the mobile work, while Gruvac seems to be more of a wall at the moment, and he's actually moving on to support armor core. Looks like a few conscripts roaming in the background, going for a fuel cache there, and there we go, immediately coming under fire from 2 scout cars. A nasty armored patrol there being dispatched by some units supporting the 240th Rifle Division. Nasty work, nasty work. Grenadiers need to gather. They might try to make it to the half track and then get in and retreat. Scout car rolling back up. Looks like a medic bunker. It would have been nice though if they'd placed it here, because then he could have also healed this gentleman's troops. I mean, it's not possible on every map, but I think, when it's possible, you should try and have the medic bunker placed so you can also heal your teammates' troops. trying to stop here this nasty scout car, but instead he gets caught up. He never quite gets either. Scout car blasted to bits. Panzergrenadiers on the run, and looks like the scout car might go down without getting one of the Soviets. Oh dear, that definitely did not work out for Alt. And it's time to look at Odeng 101, who's got Guards Infantry conscripts. He's gone for the Guards Drive combined arms. There are no upgrades to his own conscripts, no submachine guns there. A shame. But he's pushing hard as well. And again, he's currently the one with a mobile force, whereas it seems Awesomeentertainment is more the slower man. Here's the hammer. Odeng is the dagger, if you will. And an MG42 here caught. Oh dear, they're actually getting a lot of German equipment, which is, as I'm sure you can guess, not really good. A heavy machine gun and a mortar. And already here, Awesomeentertainment has a light tank out on the field, the T-70. And the Germans have, well, absolutely no anti-tank weapons. There's not a single pack, not a Panzergrenadier, which rather means this T-70 light tank is going to have an awful fun time. And I don't even think that machine gun crew might make it back home, unless it can't hit with its 45mm gun. And there we go. Gets the MG crew. Small fighting here, as we see Grenadier Squad trying to push in, but gets caught by a Maxim from Awesomeentertainment. Pops into the house, might try and escape through the back door. But we already see here T-70 covering the escape path, and he's actually wrecking the wreck here because it's actually blocking the path for his light vehicles. And I fear Gruvac will lose his veteran to Grenadier Squad. Yes, indeed. And he really just wants it gone. And another Grenadier Squad. Come on, Gruvac, you're being a bit silly here. You're overextending yourself. You're not considering retreat paths. And already here, Odeng is getting the first Su-85. Get those Grenadiers out of there. We do see Opel Blitzers out from Alt. And we see a Panzer IV out from Gruvac. Panzerkampfwagen 4. Fighting hard against the Bolshevik foe. Of course, it won't have long to really dominate the field until, you know, the Su-85 is here. Also, Panzergrenadiers up for Alts. Panzergrenadiers. Field gun up. He's trying to clear it out, but sadly it's not having luck, as Odeng's conscripts now getting submachine guns as well is holding up the area. Scout cars quickly follow up. Panzer IV rolling back. MG42 providing cover. Right hand side though is largely Gruvac, who's actually laying down machine gun bunkers to free up infantry. That's not a bad idea. Of course, the Opel Blitz, of course, at the current moment, if the Soviet players so decided, he could quickly rush in the T-70 and wreck this. I mean, if you see this, and you can actually see them on the minimap, and you can actually hear the sector has been highlighted, which rather tells you there's an Opel Blitz there. Though rather interestingly, it seems like Awesomeentertainment actually doesn't care. MG42 awaiting the enemy. Germans have been pushed back, and there we go, T-70 moving up against the machine gun right there. Almost got the MG crew, in fact. This is bad news for Gruvac and his machine gun crew. In fact, there we go, dead.
Now this land belongs to the Soviet people.
Su-85 trying to catch the Panzer IV there, and there's nothing to repair it. It's down to half health. There we go, another nasty hit. Scout cars quick rush in, going to provide line of sight. Panzer is moving up with Panzergrenadier, going to try and keep everything at bay. Misses though, they miss. Chase. And there's no packs, no anything, and no additional armor for the time being. We are seeing a minor push going up here, but the Pioneers are rather encountering a bit of a headache in the form of machine gun fire and conscripts. And looks like Alt is shifting over an assault. Gruvac leading to assist. Need to be careful though with these scout cars with snipers, and even scout cars themselves can be nasty. Grenadier Squad there needs to retreat. Might try and panzerfaust it. Panzergrenadiers continue their westbound assault, and this squad just got wiped out. Dreadful stuff. And also see a small assault being prepared over here. It's rather not going in the favor of the Panzergrenadier Division Feldhernhalle, one of the elite Panzergrenadier divisions raised by the end of the war. In fact, several were raised. Also the Brandenburger Panzergrenadier Division was raised, and the Volksherren Panzergrenadier Division Hermann Göring 2. Yes, indeed, for some reason it added a 2 to it, to sort of differentiate it from the Panzer Division, and they were formed into their own fully fledged Panzer Corps. And we actually seen Gruvac going for a flak Panzer, interestingly enough, and half tracks here from Alt, and another Panzer IV. And of course, as Awesomeentertainment provides pressure on the right flank, of course we are seeing that Gruvac is once more being forced to leave there. Awesomeentertainment's got a T-70 in reserve, and Odeng is basically waiting here, ready to strike anywhere if necessary. He's got, again, the very mobile force. He can easily react and attack. I mean, in that sense, that's more of a good role division. One is mobile, the other one less mobile. And that's sort of more the role division I like to see, as that's more of a sensibly strategic and tactical one. Basically, one acts like the anvil, the other like the hammer, or, you know, hammer and dagger, whatever. Now, you know, not one does all the fighting, the actual fighting, and the other one just, you know, sits there and sits back. That's a stupid role division. But there we go, Osman tearing through the house. The conscripts are rather realizing this place is not really safe. Wood was never the safest measure against flak. And looks like a second tank run. There we go, we're seeing Odeng rolling in just at the very same time as we see Alt conducting an assault on the western flank, which rather leaves Awesomeentertainment to react with his field guns as Panzergrenadiers charge forwards. We're seeing the flamethrower half-track has hit a mine, actually. Panzer IV quickly follows up and actually pulls back as soon as he realizes there's field guns, but the Panzer is quickly going to attack. And this, of course, is now forcing Odeng to quickly pull back since he's realizing there's attacking on two parts. And here, of course, we see some more clever stuff going on, because, again, that rather forces Odeng to choose where does he fight. And, of course, also more importantly, Awesomeentertainment, where does he fight, because they can only really, you know, either fight on two spots or one spot. And again, due to Odeng's rather more lighter force, he in some sense actually needs to follow up with Awesomeentertainment in some cases. And we see the MG crew here dies as the entire building catches on horrific fire. But we are seeing Odeng Entertainment rolling up. Oh, Odeng 100, god damn it, I'm messing up their names. But at the same time, as that happens, Gruvac is then the one attacking. So in that sense, we're seeing some rather clever alternating play between the two. And again, now Odeng's the one pulling back again, because leaving Awesomeentertainment to hold it up. And again, he's having time also deciding where do we strike, who do we try to crush. And the thing is, either German player rather pulls back if things get too hot, and then the other one pushes forwards. It's rather clever, in fact. Rather clever. And there goes Scout Car down, veteran to on this one. Grenadiers moving forwards, taking losses. Heavy losses, in fact. Gruvac's assault is not working out well. He needs to pull back. Been providing firepower as much as it can. And there we go. Now he's the one to pull back, if I am right in my prediction. There we go. In fact, he's pulling back. And that means, if my predictions are correct, that soon Alt will be the one pushing again. And in fact, we're seeing here that Gruvac is actually preparing a defense in terms of mines, basically draw back, so he lures them opponent into them and destroys a bit there, but he needs to pull back. Come on, Gruvac, you've already lost an Ostwind. Don't lose the Panzerkampfwagenfear. And there we go. As the Su-85s blast away, the Panzerkampfwagenfear quickly gets Devlado there. Oh, the mine went off. What a shame, what a shame. And again, that's because it actually has some AoE. You're not sure if the Stuk has gotten it. I hope it does. I think it might have either way. Panzer IV pulling back. And we're seeing a Sturmgeschütz arriving here for Gruvac. And it would be a good time now for Alt to push forwards, at least partly, to again put some pressure on that flank. Panzer IV trying to get out of there. Stuk likely going to roll up and provide support. At the same time, we're seeing Awesomeentertainment is actually making the push up the centre. So now it's the time for the two Russian players to actually try and, you know, pull up several flanks, and particularly going up the centre, where two of the German forces are in the flanks. So again, that's actually a good push, a good read of the tactical situation by Awesomeentertainment. But again, the Germans are now pushing up the west flank, which again is not vulnerable to infantry assault unless the field gun fires, which it isn't. Grenadiers and Panzergunners though need to continue pushing. Get close. There we go, quick rifle grenade. Getting to the gunners. Time to head back to Gruvac. Panzergunners quickly sorting out the mortar crew. T-70 running to prompt as the Panzer IV moves in. And now, of course, Odeng might be forced to pull back again. And meanwhile, the Panzer IV is going to get repaired. Veteran to 1, 18 kills. Lovely job. Panzer IV pulling back.
Panzer IV ready.
Rolling back, rolling back. And again, overall, the Germans lost some ground, but they've also managed to gain some. And overall, with somewhat light losses, although again, Gruvac does seem to suffer some heavier infantry losses while doing so, which is something he might want to work on. Also, his Veteran 2 scout car with Veteran 2 snipers in it.
The new unit has arrived.
Rolling up here, might though get a very nasty surprise from Herr Sturmgeschütz.
Our opponents are seizing the sector.
Then he's here getting caught. Stug firing away. Needs to be careful though, we are quickly seeing an Su-85 moving up. Panzer IV moving up as well. No doctrine, by the way, from Gruvac. He might want to consider something, like something that gives him smoke discharges. Always a classic. Odeng 100 continuing to support the situation with tank destroyers. Fuel cache once more finding itself the target. And looks like we are seeing Alt going for Panthers. He's moved straight on, realizing there's a lot of Su-185s, not 100s. They're not in the game, at least not yet. But Panther out in the field, going to have a slightly better chance, of course, surviving. It's also considerably fast. In fact, it's one of the fastest tanks in the game, in particular considering its size and armor and damage. Very effective tank. Also note here the winter ambush camouflage on it.
Caution, we are losing the sector.
Which is rather meant to sort of simulate the effect of being under the trees, or basically, you know, being something that's under trees. You know, when something flies over it, you know, they see, this is just a bunch of trees from above, or something like that. I'm not 100% sure about it, actually. But I think it's something like that. Basically, you know, these small dimples there being, you know, small bits of light breaking through the trees. Or at least that's supposed to simulate again. Panzer IV moving up here. Grenadiers inside the house under heavy fire. Panzer IV takes a direct hit. Guards infantry, though, suffering rather unpleasantly as the Su-185s continue to bombard the situation. And there we go. Again, now it's time for Alt to prepare another assault. His Panzergunners are ready, his Grenadiers are ready, his Panzers are ready. He's even moving in the flamethrower half-track. Note, it's much more of a lower cut. It's going to basically, you know, hit behind the enemy's lines and burn away. So really, we're seeing Alt setting up cleverly here, and again, alternating between being anvil and hammer here. So again, or sword and shield, I suppose, would be also a nice one, in reference to Modul's tactics during Army Group North. So there we go. Half-tank going for the lower cut, armor leading the main force with infantry and support. Well done there by Alt. And again, Awesomeentertainment has not prepared a defensive force. Again, he's actually pulled up rather far here, and he's in fact not prepared at all, which is actually a bit poorly done. But Panther moving up, Panzergrenadier Grenadiers rolling up as well. Flame for a half-tank dealing with the fuel cache down there. Shock troops up from Awesomeentertainment. Conscript pulling up behind whatever defensive emplacements have been prepared, but more Panzergrenadiers push up. Through the blizzard, through the snow. The opponent has a hard time of spotting them. Bundle grenade, geballte Ladung on the field gun. Gets two. Again, I'm not convinced that bundle grenade is always that effective. And there we go. Flame for a half-tank moving up, heading the flank, going to catch any retreating troops as well. Also good way he set it up. And it's just looking really bad. Panzer IV rolling in, Panther also there, and we are seeing a Panzerwerfer rolling up there as well. Now we're seeing Odeng Odeng 101, again his name is rather confusing me for some reason, but now he's rolling back all of his Su-85s, forcing to give up ground here, of course. So again, alternating play, attacking from different angles with considerably sensible forces. And Awesomeentertainment rather not preparing himself for anything like that. Again, although we do now see ISU-152. And there we go, SU-185 moving up the flank. Panzer IV rolling up, it might actually outflank, yes indeed. Odeng moved it up too far. And looks like something went down. Oh, Panther went through the ice. Panther went through the ice. Oh dear, that was just Panther gone. A terrible shame. Over to Alt, who's gone assault support, as we know through the orbital blitzes. Strafing run getting called in, Panther pulling back. Flame for half-tank needs to get out of there. Strafing run quickly stops most of the Soviet infantry and their tracks, leaving behind only the tank destroyers. And there we go. He's actually trying to use them like tanks, but that's opening up for Gruvac to move into this tank from the flank. And there we go. One tank destroyed down. One tank destroyed down. Panther could set in. Veteran D2 for Gruvac's Panzer IV. And there we go. The Panther quickly moves up. Veteran D1. Panzer IV holding out. Might get behind the ISU-152, in which case it's game over. Lots of aircraft moving in from every side. Bombing runs, I believe, but I think it actually missed. And now the ISU-152 is doomed. Doomed. Where are the anti-tank grenades? Of course, they're getting some pressure again, using this time to get as much damage in. ISU-152 turning about. Panzergrenadiers moving up as well. Oh, Panzer IV almost down. Again, they have no tanks, no T-34, so even keep them slightly wary. Femini just ramming, and there we go. Fragmented bombing run straight on the infantry. Oh my God, that is just carnage. The Panzergrenadier Division Feldhernhalle continues to deliver death of an untold cannon. A bombing run going in, a new turn from the Soviets. And the Panzer IV goes down. Gunner killed on the Panther. Down to less than half health. Stuart is up to provide fire support. More infantry flame for half-tanks rushing in. But, oh goodness gracious, this is a slaughter. Panzergrenadier securing a light machine gun from the Soviets. And the T-70 is still there. T-70 to the rescue. But not quite. Guards infantry being pushed forward here by Odeng. Well, I think this was rather a good display of, what happens to tank destroyers and assault guns. If you're not careful and get attacked by tanks again, they simply can't keep up with the maneuver if you keep up the speed, and that was what the German players did. They hit them with very fast tanks, used blitzkrieg as well, I believe, rather making it difficult for the tank destroyers to constantly orientate themselves, and that meant the tanks could get behind them and knock them out. So again, when facing such units of a matter of Stoops or Elephants or whatever, as the Soviets, hit them with moving units, hit them with tanks from the flanks. Try doing a blizzard so they can see less, or shoot smoke, whatever. Veteran D2 Panther there goes actually blitzkrieging up, even just basically going to get very fast out of there. In fact, he needs to get out of there very fast. And there we go. Panther, though, needs to get out of there now. It is imperative that he gets out of there. And the Panther's basically working, but oh dear, it might get hit with an anti-tank grenade and a field gun in the rear. And it's actually pulling straight in front of the field gun. And we're seeing a Tiger tank being called in. And he's actually waiting. I think he's calling in a strafing run to cover his retreat. Yes, indeed. Panther, though, is very low on health. Very low. Frontal armor of the Panther, though, survives it. And again, blitzkrieging out of the Panther, getting out there with the speed of lightning. Very close, very close. Overall, nice maneuver, really destroyed the huge force of tank destroyers that Odeng had built up. And again, Awesomeentertainment rather seems to be a bit the weak link here. He's not really, running flank coverage. And Gruvac getting himself another Panther after the one that went to the bottom of the lake. But another ISU-152 from Awesomeentertainment. And the Tiger, I'm not sure if the Tiger's currently worth it, to be honest. It's a bit odd. It's not that accurate half the time, see there, nor does it do for some more damage than say a Panzer or a Panther, nor does it have more range than a Panther. I mean, it just seems awkward. And of course in the end it ended up crushing these troops that hit the dirt. Which I suppose is also a dangerous thing about, when you hit the dirt, you do tend to be an easier target to get crushed. The Tiger, though, is reasonably fast, but still, I'm not sure if it's worth it, particularly considering the cost.
Blizzard conditions are imminent. Engines are warm. Tiger here. We are in combat.
Needs to be careful here on the ice. One wrong shot, and that could go through. And just note how much the ice fractures. Careful, careful. I mean, he's lucky it's a blizzard which rather quickly heals it up, but good lord. It's time to look at Odeng, and it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Current situation is a rather 50-50 split on the map. The Russians, though, are dominating in terms of victory points. On the other hand, they just suffered a huge loss after a considerable Axis assault. Although the Germans did lose several tanks and assault guns during it, ultimately, though, they were able to salvage out things, including a veteran 2 Panther, which is really going to be a problem for the Russians. In particular, since all they can really muster now is an Vet 1 Su-85. So, I mean, there are some things there that need to be rather rectified. And again, Awesomeentertainment needs to build up a more solid front. He needs field guns, he needs mines, he needs to get down a lot of mines, in fact. He needs to make it harder for the Germans to maneuver about, and that's rather the problem. If the Germans are allowed to maneuver, in particular with Panthers, they're going to win. If not, the Panthers are going to go, well, pretty much useless. So what they need are anti-tank grenades, conscripts, spaced out nicely for that. Guard infantry with buttoning. A few T-34s just in case to quickly ram them would also be a good move, and that's also rather nice counter to basically roaming Panthers. But also mines. And currently there's none of that, which is rather giving the Germans the greatest advantage they can get, which is allowing their tanks to roam around and do whatever they want. And if they're allowed to do that, they're going to be a lot more dangerous. Even the Tiger. So that is very much something to consider. For the Germans, I mean, well, they've basically already got a good strategy running, alternating between hitting the left, the right. In one case, hitting up the center, going straight for the base, going for the juggler, going for the most important units, but at the same time, keep that up, try to preserve their infantry a bit better. Perhaps get some more varied use of their doctrines out, I suppose, but overall, they're doing, quite nicely. It's rather Awesomeentertainment who needs to pull it together, form up a front. He needs to form up a safe zone so Odeng can continue being the more mobile player, and that's currently not happening. And again, Awesomeentertainment needs to then provide the bulk of the heavier, more ground-based anti-tank gunfire with all of these SIS guns, which he didn't. And again, he rather didn't seem to figure out that again they were attacking from different sides. Again, here and then here. Again, Awesomeentertainment a bit lagging behind, and that's rather giving the German players the advantage. Again, mines wins wars. But let's get back here. Of course, here this veteran 2 Panther is ready with its own armoured side skirts.
Territory secured. Structure complete.
Another fuel cache. More Su-85s on the way. ISU-152 moving about. Also a very nasty heavy assault gun. Got quite the range, got quite the AoE, and got quite the damage. Tiger over here. More Orbital Blitz trucks. Panther moving up. Again, interesting enough, there's been no attempt from the Soviets even remotely to harass the Orbital Blitzes.
The
which again is a bit curious, since a tiny T-70 could easily have done it and would have been a bit tricky to hit actually. But looks like Alt is setting up for a right-hand assault, while Gruvac might be moving up on the western flank. So in fact they're also switching positions. But again they're going to return to their tactics. One attacks one side, then pulls their attention, and then the other launches in the assault. And I believe that's... never mind.
Troops dying under your command is an inefficient use of state resources.
Looks like the Su-85s are basically clearing out the wrecks there. And we're seeing a bit of a confused defense. They're not entirely sure what they're expecting anymore. I mean, the sort of strategy that the Germans are conducting is rather also causing them to be a bit unclear what to expect, where to defend from, comrades. The fascists are everywhere. Panzerwerfer rolling up once more. I don't think a Panzergrenadier Division might have had it, but then again the Panzergrenadier Division Feldhernhalle might have been, you know, warranting this. Bit unsure. But rolling that up. It looks like he's going to clear up with an opening barrage. And then I imagine the assault will commence, so these Grenadiers need to get into cover. Damn it. Or will Gruvac be the one to sort of draw the attention first? Another Panther. No vast unyielding surprises there. And I'm again, it's again one of those situations where he basically just goes for Guards Infantry and this, and then he ultimately doesn't end up using a lot of the doctrine. Basically only the Guards Infantry and this, and then he might as well, you know, go on for Guards Motor. I mean, that would have worked much better in particular, since that would have given him a marked vehicle, which really works well with Su-85s. You know, basically mark the target, have the Su-85s do extra damage, and quickly knock it out. So oops, sorry for hitting the microphone there, but in that sense, it's quite weird. We are seeing strafing run apparently being deployed here in support of the assault. Or is it a recon run? It looks like a recon run actually, which means he's either gone for spearhead or Jaeger armor. There we go, Soviet strafing run going in, catching the German infantry. And there we go, another, what is that? Bombing run as well. Oh good lord, so many aircraft. The Soviet Air Forces in the margin. There we go. As the western assault commences, we see Alt is launching another one on the west-eastern flank again. One player draws the attention, the other one pushes in. And it's going to be one hell of an armoured push, and it's going to be involving a Tiger and eventually two Panther. Although here we quickly see the one... Oh! Mines are actually up! Mines are up! Damaging engines! Making them easier targets, but will the Soviets react in time? I'm popping over to Awesomeentertainment. And they've already spent most of their gunpowder, well, most of their shots, whatever, on these two Panthers without doing much. And now they actually have two heavy armoured vehicles which are mobile and which could be knocked out with a few bombing strikes. But no, again, they've been already caught up here.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
I mean, that's pretty much good strategy. You know, have one draw the attention, then the other strike. Well, they've already committed everything they have. I mean, that's one of the agonies, and again, sometimes, you know, you need to be careful about committing everything. In fact, he sending his Su-152 too close to the front line. That's nuts. Now, of course, they're forced to react to the right flank. It's utter pandemonium. Panther here taking a nasty hit. More German Air Force, the Luftwaffe, the Red Air Force are completely on a bender right at the moment. And looks like they're now committing again to try and clearing out this area, allowing the right one to advance again. We are seeing a bombing run. Might go in here. We'll all be paying attention. No, he's not. Tiger almost down. That is terrible. He needs to get out of there quickly. And we are seeing the Su-85s actually reacting on this, and again they're constantly trying to figure out where to strike. It's pandemonium. Madness. Panthers pulling back. Panzergrenadiers continue to hold up the Soviets as well. Getting blasted here by the 2 tank destroyers. And looks like the Opel Multi is being discovered, but the combat units can't do much against the machine gun. In fact, they're losing. And we're quickly seeing a Panther pulling up here. Another one from Alt. Oh, might get spotted. Oh, went through the ice. But now again, now they pull towards the right. Gruvac strikes for this Panthers. This time there's actually a field gun to do something. And now, of course, once more, they're forced to react. And again, then Alt strikes. And now the ISU-152, I mean, that's the problem. That the tank destroyers and assault guns are not built for this kind of fighting. They don't have charge. They can't quickly react to these sort of situations. And there we go. ISU-152 is down. It's amazing. Oh, the bombing run was too late. Shock troops are being rushed in, but ultimately it's not doing enough. Odeng's trying to hold it all under control, but it's simply going too fast for them. They're lacking tanks, they're lacking something which can even temporarily hold the line and say ram them. Something. It's incredible to actually watch. And we actually get an elephant heavy tank destroyer coming in. I think at this stage it's pretty much overkill. But then again, there's no kill like overkill. Oh dear, this could actually end up badly for his Panther is on the ice. With a damaged engine, it could break. In fact, we're seeing it happen. He's actually moving up behind the hedgerows, blitzkrieging or whatever away. At the same time, Tiger and another Panther moving up, but they're actually taking heavy damage from the now veteran 2 SU-85, which means it really does a lot of damage. Of course, that is the thing to remember. A veteran 2 SU-85, and they're not that hard to get up there, are quite dangerous. Tiger is heavily damaged. Panther, though, is still there, and he's actually moving it in again. He's moving it in again. He's going to hit the flank as the Tiger tries to escape. Panzergrenadier is doing what they can as well. And there we go, Panther gets it, veteran G3 Panther. That's the first time I've seen that. And he gets it. My God, it's barely alive. Only faith in the fatherland and the superiority of Krupp Steel is holding it together. In the meanwhile, Grenadiers are getting slaughtered absolutely by conscripts and a machine gun. The Tiger's barely held together as well. He's actually moving in the Panther again. Oh dear, he could actually lose it to the Tiger if he's not careful with this field gun. This is the first time I've actually seen a veteran G3 Panther in Company Views too. But that thing is going to be a killer. Nothing short of a killer.
What do you need?
Oh dear, field gun might spot the elephant and knock it out. Combat engineers rising up. Another ISU-152. He's really not getting much out of this. He only built, I think, one T-70, not in a half track, to get some AA up or some T-34 to support. Very much a shame. And there we go. Buttoning it up. Tiger is in trouble. It has sadly been abandoned. No.
Supply sector under attack.
There we go. Tiger down. ISU-152 rolling up, and looks like the Germans now preparing for a central assault. The elephant is ready to watch over the entire area.
The new men have arrived. Awaiting command.
Still a veteran T3 Panther. Very bold play, and he's actually, oh dear again. I think Awesomeentertainment might have chosen the wrong doctrine. He doesn't really seem to understand what the IG 152 is or how it works.
Have you not planned for winter?
And he might have benefited from just getting out of tanks. Since again, he rather seems to be acting as if though he has a tank, which he doesn't. And yeah, I can immediately sense here that Alt's going to be moving in. Gruvac, perhaps. Either way, that's wrecked. Panther getting repaired. Guards infantry moving up. Getting blasted here. Dying actually to the machine gun, because I mean the machine gun here also gets the damage bonus of veterancy 3. So that means overall veterancy 3 Panther is just a menace, not just to armor but also to infantry. And there going Panther glides on the ice like a not very graceful ballet dancer. Sending all the guards infantry running pell-mell back, and a bombing run might get... oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Trying to get the Panther, but he just barely escapes. IG-152 is in dire trouble, and there you go. The elephant has it spotted. The elephant has it spotted. A few more hits, and that's going to be good night. In such a fight, there is no match for the Pack 43. Veterans won, by the way. Not that it's going to make a huge difference. Panther advancing here, coming out of fire from the field gun, but again, not much stopping it. I do believe that is a fragmented bombing run, clearing out the entire machine gun crew. Gott im Himmel. So yeah, very brutal fighting. And this Panther is just tearing up the Soviets. Very nasty business that. And the 240th Rifle Division, despite all of the support it acquired, has not really succeeded in holding up. Another reconnaissance overflight.
That's it! Fully reinforced!
How can we help?
And getting another Tiger. You're not sure if that's going to work out. But well, we'll have to see. Well, that looks to be the end.
You need an elephant?
And again, they're quite unsure. I mean, they barely got anything left to actually form a continuous front, and there. Now he's getting tanks. Now he's getting tanks. Good lord, that's way too late now. They have too much heavy armor now, too much veteran heavy armor now, and of course, well, basically they're the ones in dominance. Panther scores another kill. And the Panther just tears them up. Guards infantry moving up to try and assist. They're not really having much luck. T-34 moving in. And this house is getting absolutely bombarded. Panther here, they're being forced away with heavy damage. Tiger rolls up. Quickly finds itself buttoned as the desperate defense continues here on the outskirts. Well, less the outskirts, more the center of the village. Conscripts rushed away. And of course Panther Elephant advancing on the west flank. And ramming, yes, ramming. But again, much too late. Serves no purpose now, except delaying the inevitable. Coming over to Alt. And again, nice use of the Blitzkrieg tactics. T-34 abandoned, but no one wants that.
Infantry down. The enemy is down to 75 points. Panzergrenadier. Present conditions are imminent. Under infantry attack. Engaged by Red Army forces.
And there's not really much that can be done to stop this thing. Not without a lot of firepower, which the Soviets can't really muster anymore. Lots of anti-tank grenades, lots of... oh, sorry for hitting the microphone again. Lots of Nazi stuff. Germans advancing there, Germans advancing there, Germans advancing everywhere. Panzer is getting blown to bits. Tragically so. And another Tiger getting called in, apparently just because he can. There we go, does nothing to that conscript squad.
The enemy can taste defeat. They only have 10 points remaining.
And there we go, game over. A loss to the Soviet Union, a victory for the Reich. A very brutal fight indeed, where the Soviets seemed to be winning up to a certain point, but then once the Germans really got rolling with their tactics, their strategy, which I think they called push and pull, well, they were slowly able to overcome them. In fact, with some very brutal engagement, because the Russian army, which was composed here, was not really strong in that sort of warfare. It was very much choose your engagement fight, but when they couldn't choose the engagements, whenever they moved towards one, they would pull away and then the other side would push. And again, that was part of the problem. Again, Awesomeentertainment rather became the weak link. All he had was an ISU-152. He had no tanks. He had nothing at all, not even a sufficient number of field guns to really pose a problem. And that was a problem that would allow the Germans to simply slowly push on, constantly move one spot, hit the other, and then of course catch the ISU-152s in a bad series of spots, knock them up. But that first engagement there with the 3 Su-85s and the ISU-152 rather I think was really determining one, because again the Germans moved, then they wiped it all out, and then largely got out of there with the Veteran 2 Panther, which really was ultimately became really the really big thorn in their side. So I mean, to sort of counter that strategy, what could one do? I mean, mines would have helped, and Awesomeentertainment providing a slightly more serious force. I mean, a few T-34s, to quickly overwhelm, catch any tanks running about. One ramps, the other just blasts away until the tank choice could have arrived. Could have been one thing, but also doctrinally, I mean, again, Odeng's doctrine choice didn't really make much sense. He could have gone guards mount. He could have gotten mostly the same thing, but he would also have gotten, something that would work much better with his Su-85s, which is Mark vehicles. So again, I have no idea why he didn't even have that doctrine available for him. I mean, that was one problem as well. There was no real coherence between doctrine choices and what they were actually playing, whereas with the Germans there was a definite clearer strategy going on. So overall, well played by the Germans. They overcame that nasty Su-85 spam you hear so much about through some pretty clever strategy and tactics, and again through some really good Panther usage, again making good usage of its Blitzkrieg tactics ability as well. So wonderfully played there. Again, I'm a bit unsure about the Tiger. It just doesn't really feel useful at the moment, though hopefully that will change in a balance patch. But there you go, this is Imperial Dane saying cheers.